welcome to the B2B Growth Blueprint podcast, where we talk with entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders at B2B services, tech, and SaaS companies to learn the systems and processes they've used to create success for their business. We'll also learn from marketing and sales experts to provide insights to help you grow your business. I'm your host, Mark Osborne, and the podcast is brought to you by Modern Revenue Strategies and their 10x ROI B2B Growth Guarantee. Schedule a free diagnostic call to learn the fastest path to double your B2B revenues in just 90 days. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the B2B Growth Blueprint podcast, where we talk with entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders at B2B services, technology, and SaaS companies to learn how they've created success for their business. And today, my guest is Lev Kacnelson. Lev has a very interesting story and perspective. He is the CEO of Adrecom, and we're going to talk about where that name came from, which I think you'll find to be very interesting. For more than 15 years, he has a really broad background in telecom and information science and has been on numerous panels and publications nationally and internationally on those topics. But today, we're going to talk about his success with Adrecom and how they develop technology specific for e-commerce companies. So, Lev, thanks so much for joining me today.
Today, I'm glad to participate to your show.
Thanks. So tell us, what's the name of your company come from, Adrecom?
My partner was sitting in Washington, D.C. and debating what name to pick up, and we come to conclusion that best name to us will be American Dream Company. And we was still not in the state, but we decided we're starting company with this name, and it will give us a lot of luck, because goal of to build our company to achieve our American dream and to help our potential customer to achieve American dream too. So this is coming to play. And we're happy with name. It's like it's basically translate to what we try to do recent 20 years. And we're happy with the name, and it resonates with our feeling and in our goals for us, for our family, and for our customers and customer families.
That's great. The American Dream Company. So what exactly do you do there at Adrecom? The American
And
Dream.
we're basically developing and marketing e-commerce solution for B2B and B2C market. Particular for our most success come from B2B marketing for companies that doing e-commerce for manufacturing, wholesaler, distributors, and different entities that basically try to provide services and sell products online. And our platform support variety model, subscription-based model, membership model, classic sales, quote management, full solution around e-commerce and content management, obviously.
Got you. And so I imagine that, for e-commerce platforms, you're dealing with a lot of the same sort of issues that other B2B services, technology, and SaaS companies are, which is typically where, you're looking at sort of fairly large and complex contracts, which then usually means there's lots of people involved in the buying process. And then that usually means pretty long sales cycles. Is that right? Is that the kind of business dynamic that you're working with?
Yeah, in a lot of cases, we have fairly long business process and solution discovery and solution selection. But I find out over years of experience that a lot of our customers kind of, when they reach us, they already prepared to make decisions to do something not standard, because we have a lot of platforms in the market. In e-commerce and market will very noisy and very competitive, but a lot of solutions that we have in the market, they're very standard, and they take care of a lot of standard cases. But if you need something not standard, it became much more complicated. And its reason for this exists because of mass market situation. When you're serving 10,000 customers, it's very difficult to tailor solution to specific customer needs. And our advantage that we very customer focused, customer centric, and almost in a lot of cases we can provide, configure, or deliver solutions that a lot of big players cannot do, or it will take a long time to do. So our potential customer kind of ready to move to something unusual, and in terms of system of delivery, in terms of use cases. Other thing is very interesting. I almost saying that when come to me ask why you better than company ABC that leading on the market, I say, look, you have, let's say, candy store or lumber shop. All your competitions using same product. So what your benefits to how you beat your competition if you provide the same thing and limiting yourself and limiting to your customer to what you can provide. In our case, we can adopt solution to very specific use case, and a lot of sense our customer beating competition using our tailored solution.
That's interesting. So you talked about that, a lot of customers, by the time they come to you, they already know that they want something more unique, more customized. And you talked about, the importance of, standing out from the cookie cutter or the standard solutions that some of your competition delivers. We saw some research recently that said that, a lot of customers will, go through as much as 70% of the decision process before they start engaging with, potential vendors or potential solution providers. So it's interesting that you've been able to do a good job of positioning yourself as a more, sort of customized solution and not the same, cookie cutter, the same as everyone else. Talk to us a little bit about how your company was able to create that differentiation of, if you want something that's more unique, if you want something that's more customized, you should come to Adrecom. How have you accomplished that?
This is a very interesting question. Thank you for asking. For beginning of the company, because we was very small group of software engineer with very little real marketing and business experience, but with a lot of experience building technology on the scale. And what we find out that main point to be ready to serve your customer and let customer win with customers is create solid technology foundation that's very flexible and very adaptive. If you have foundation of technology that's adaptive and flexible, you have capability to adopt it to any use case. And I call it custom ready, and people get confused. So or ready or custom, but this is confusion. This is kind of, you need to, foundation have to be ready, but have to be flexible enough to adapt to use case and do it fast. Meaning the fastest meaning if you customizing for customer solution take 5-6 months, it's very long time because in 6 months he need already other case. That's so right. This is speed to the market for him need to be done in format that easy for customers and easy for us. And core is select important piece of technologies that have to be built flexible enough to change fast without significantly time consuming. And this is how we win situation, how we can allow to customer to resolve constantly requirements to modification, to changes, to adaptation, to integration. This is kind of permanent modification situation, but it have to be done fast and easy for us and easy for customers.
So that was custom ready. So it's
Custom ready.
customized or ready to be customized, which is great. And that focus on, sort of flexibility and modularity, I'm sure makes you really, sort of prized in the eyes of your customers. When we were talking a little bit before this, you were saying that, your focus has really been on, using scalable and adaptable and modular technologies, and also really focusing on what your customers need and what they care about, more so than getting caught up in, sort of the market hype or what your competitors are doing. What's some advice that you have for other entrepreneurs or, founders at companies that, particularly today, there's a lot of hype around artificial intelligence or generative AI or ChatGPT, all of these, sort of new technologies. Let's say that someone in the e-commerce space might want to say, well, I have to totally, layer in this generative AI piece in order to, be competitive in the marketplace. It sounds like maybe you might advise to, not necessarily be distracted by those trends in the marketplace. Talk to me about that.
It's a really important point, and it's good that you mentioned AI, because I get question about how using this new ChatGPT generation AI to your platform, and I each literally 5 times per week, and I ask question, why you need it? Because everybody talking about it, because it became kind of mantra that without AI you dead. Why you need it? And people get confused and say, oh, but like other platforms do it. I say, okay, but it's not reason what I try to say. We working to integrate some part of generating AI and some part of inclusion in AI element inside of platform, obviously, because it's way to do it correctly and important to have it to help customer to do the job. But at the same time, you need to sit and hold on. You need to sit and say, okay, how this particular technology and model will improve customer life? Way to integrate new technology before you don't want to integrate new approach in promotion 5 days before Thanksgiving. Better keep it in next year, because everybody doing it's not reason to do it tomorrow. So when you're building company and building technology, it's very important, particularly if you business driven, not buzz driven, that you want to get investment money, to get attention. If you bottom line driven, you need to focus on how particular technology will help my customer. What is cost to adoption for your customer this technology? If he will be better off using this technology. What is business cycle to integrate in workflow of this technology? And it's very good example. If 5 people in marketing inside of company already using hire photographer to make 2,000 product images, and they make the images, pay money for photo shoot, learn how to upload it in your CRM or your content management system. And now what you want, throw these images and use generating AI to generate images that look like okay, but it's not still better than professional photographer to do it.
Sure.
So this is because somebody talking about it, you need to be very careful what you're doing. And still, to be honest, in a lot of cases, still human better than AI.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly, but in a lot of cases, human better than AI. Maybe in 5 years from now, I don't know. Maybe 10 years from now, maybe, yeah, but still, it has to be combination. You don't need to rush in. And particular for young founders that try to build technology, 100 years, 200 years, and before, 20 years before, and 20 years forward, still, you're building technology to create value for your business. If this is business, if it's for fun, it's different story.
That's right.
If it's for raising capital, it's two different story. We're talking about value and real business in meaning of business that you building good, providing services, selling this for profit, and helping customer with your tools to make money.
That's right. Well,
So when company building something new, I mean small group of people, they need to, and they have limited resources. They need to think how I can do about market segment that's big enough, about market problem, about problems that this market segment have in real life, and how you can build technology to solve this problem. This is kind of three foundation. It's what we're doing, and it's our vision and our philosophy.
that's great. Yeah. Oftentimes we talk about, a lot of people will get excited about a new tool like AI or whatever it might be, but it's kind of like they got a shiny new hammer and they run around looking for nails to hit with it rather than thinking about what's the real problem and then building a system to solve that problem and then layering in the data or the technology that they need to solve that problem, whether that data or technology is AI or some other technology that might be the right solution for it.
And very important point, and I want to tell, and I'm telling this to customers too, and to my new employee, and to people that are working, and even casual conversation. Technology is just tools.
That's right.
It's not goal to update. It's just tools. If you have enough money to play with it for fun, totally fine. If you want to play, if you want to get to know technology, it's okay too. But if you're talking about business part of it, you need to almost remember technology is tools.
That's right. When you have a really interesting perspective because you've been leading that company for some time, and you talked a little bit earlier about how you might do some things if you're trying to raise capital, but other things if you're really trying to deliver value for the customer. And when you and I were talking earlier, you talked about how, that choice to, bring in outside investment versus to, grow it yourself, it can be a difficult choice for entrepreneurs. I know some, founders of companies are out there and would love the perspective of someone that has been doing it long enough that they've had the opportunity to evaluate bringing in outside capital or ways, to do that. What are your perspectives on that?
It's a very complicated question, and I try to be short. Look, it's two ways to think about it. And we need to be honest with ourselves. If you and it's my vision of it. I know that getting investment and working on investment, raising capital is separate business. You need to commit a lot of time, a lot of money, and build company around goal to raise capital first, then build company to do product. If you have limited resources, time, financial wise, and don't have money initially, significant capital, you have no choice to split to run two track, working to raise capital and same time building product and go to the market. It's one part of it. It's very difficult. It's impossible, let's put it this way. Other thing, I don't know, it's maybe a little bit politically incorrect to say, but it's up to you guys to decide. I try to be light. We all know that if you Stanford grad or Harvard grad or Columbia grad or whatever grad in top 10 and have right community connection, right place to live, you have certain way to raise capital and certain evaluation. If you come from different places, your evaluation, your chance to raise capital, and the efforts required to raise capital, it's much more difficult. And cost of capital in terms of equity it's much more difficult. So much less. So what's happening now? You need to decide. I start to raise capital with low evaluation, with invest couple of years to deal with it and build company around potential investment, or you try to grow organically. Then we'll see. It's personal choice.
Interesting. That's a great.
Okay. And other point of it, the second part of it is even more important in my view. We hear a lot about success in venture investment, but for one success you have 1,000 failures. Lost money by investor, lawsuit, this time waste by founders, a lot of not nice situation we have it. So it's again a risk reward factor. It's very personal and depends where you in your life cycle and what your vision in terms how you want to. If you like to do it, if you like what you're doing, and you see path, I think it's better to work organically in some point, sell company in and retire. Let's put it this way, in some point, or give it, or transition, make company transition to your kids or whatever. But if you have access to capital and you want to, you're a good player in this field, it's different story.
That's a very interesting perspective. It's really two businesses, and it also aligns with what you said earlier about really being focused on the customer and what they need, and sort of choosing to build a business based on that rather than building a business based on raising capital and what would work for that. So I know that a lot of our listeners would love to get the perspective of someone, like you that has been doing this successfully for so long. What would be one piece of advice to, that early stage founder out there that, has, just been in the company for maybe, 3 years or so, and they're starting to get their first customers and really to deliver some success? Well, what's your piece of advice to them that can help get them to that next level?
One, after first customer success, find really expand this success, to use this success to identify really quote unquote pain point of potential customer and focus your technology and activity to this pain point, and be very patient, because if you know that certain problem exists in the market and technology, you focus on resolving this problem for customers. If you more focus, more likely you will continue to grow. This is your insurance. You're focusing on problem, because nobody go to dentist if you don't have pain in the teeth.
That's right.
So you need this is your focus. And second, even most important, don't worry about competition. Just don't read about it. Because you read newsletters that somebody get $1 billion investment, your competition have Las Vegas show and everybody coming, and you sitting and don't know how to close your bill at the end of the month. If you be in this paradigm, it's killing people. It's just killing. Just don't focus on what you're doing and forget about anything else.
That's great. So hyper focus on the customer, the common theme that you've had throughout, and even further, hyper focus on those real pain points that you're identifying with those early customers of what they really sort of found as the value proposition from you and the pain that they were trying to solve. What was the toothache that brought them to the dentist the first time? And we work with a lot of companies to help them identify that through, doing customer interviews, whether it's, after the sale, but before kickoff, or using other sort of tactics to get that insight. And definitely have seen that be very helpful for companies as they're really focusing in that messaging on how they deliver for the marketplace and are focused on those customers. So that's great advice.
Yeah.
So for any companies out there that are in the e-commerce space and they know that they want something more customized, they want this custom ready type solution that you can bring for their sort of technology infrastructure, how can they get in touch with you?
Just drop me mail or go to our website and I will call, and we're always ready.
That's great. So it's adrecom.com, right?
Yes.
American Dream Company, adrecom.com, and then Lev, Lev, at adrecom.com.
Yes, that's correct.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you for
to
your
join us
question.
today.
I was happy to talk with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining this episode of the B2B Growth Blueprint podcast. We hope you've gained insights to grow your business. If you enjoyed this discussion, please rate, comment, like on your favorite platform, and share to others who will find it useful. Do you know a CEO, founder, or leader at an early stage B2B services, tech, or SaaS company who would like to be a guest and share their story? Send us a note. Let's schedule a conversation.